Hey Jason, so I will share these with you in this email so that you can see. But I'm just going to go through the results of these tests and the order in which they were done. So the first thing that Anne and Catherine did, the two twin sisters who worked on this book, they came up with this design here and then this one here. This one in the middle is actually a competitor that's already on Amazon. And so they started, they were kind of going back and forth. I think they did do another test, but I don't have that handy, but it doesn't really matter. This obviously is AI generated. Um, and it did perform okay, but not super well. This is actually low confidence. It just eked out one more vote than the direct competitor. But, statistically speaking, it's not very conclusive at all. So the next test that we did was only for the cover. So the cover design changed. This was the one that had won before, and then okay, so this is what they did. They looked at the comments, and they found that people were responding to an Italian flag. So they went with this cover, and then they added an Italian flag up here. And there it is right there. So this is a revised version of it, right in the middle here. Go from this one on the right to this one in the middle. And then they also generated a couple other, AI versions, right? Variations. And so it turned out that this one here that had won previously did not perform too well between the three of these. And that was pretty conclusive. There's a clear underperformer, and that's cover two. That's the original one, but with the flag. And then this variation over here, well, these other two variations seemed to do better, but they ended up going with this one here over this one because this one looked a little too kind of AI. They all do, but what can you do? They just felt that this one here was a little more interesting, so they went with that. Made a couple little changes. Or actually, did they make any changes? I'm not seeing much in terms of changes. No, they didn't change it at all. So this was an internal test, and then they decided to test against, the market. This is the market. And their cover won, and by a pretty good margin. And so this has already been sort of tested, fake tested or simulated in somewhat market conditions. So we know, and it's reasonably high confidence. There is a clear winner. We know that this book, The Do's and Don'ts of Italy, this cover, and this is practically the same title as the competitor here. And we know that our cover is winning. We know that it's doing better. So that's pretty clear. And that's why I say let's look at the variation that you did. So when we change it, it's really tricky. It's really tricky to do that. So we've just changed it here. And we don't know. To my eye, the original looks more engaging. It's more, I don't know, whatever. It just, to my eye, the original looks more attractive. And this one, I don't know if you're done with this or what's gone. I know you cleaned it up, but then we're getting into questions of taste as well. Taste is important, but I really respect what the surveys tell us. So we know that we have a performing cover here. So the kind of changes that I'm looking for are not conceptual changes, which to me, this is conceptual. This is really, this is going a little too far. And so what I'm looking for is just a little bit of sharpness, I think, of bringing the eye a little more focused to what needs to be seen. And let me see. So I want to keep the same title, the typography, the do's and don'ts. One reason is because that's part of their brand as well. But I think what we could do is, tighten up the kerning here. It's just a little weird. The ampersand is kind of huge. The lines on the either side of, they don't quite go to the edge, and if that's intentional, that's okay, but if not, I don't know. That's something I would want to kind of look at and have someone look at that and kind of play with it and see if it maybe should be justified out to here. I would keep the same coloring. I would keep the same background, but I was wondering if there's a way to focus the eye a little more. And I'm not sure what that would mean here. I'd have to sit down and play with it. I just, that's just not my job at this point. So Culture Quest Books, that's their logo, that's their brand. We leave that alone. Although I do like how you did it. It's a little bit cleaner, maybe. It's a different font, maybe. And then what the problem that I see here is the practical guide to Italian etiquette for travelers. And then here you've got, oh, okay. Oh, shoot. You may not have noticed it, but you changed the title, and the title is something that we test also. So that's Shakespeare at this point. So the practical guide to Italian etiquette for travelers. Oh, I see. You added that essential Italian. Oh, okay. Well, essential Italian. Yeah, that changes it. That does change it. So that changes the concept of the cover. So that's the kind of thing. So, first time that we're working together on this stuff, I'm giving you the background on how we arrived at this cover and what is sort of open to editing or to finessing. So I do want to stay very, very close to the original, but let me just think about this. So this is the competitor. We don't want to do what they are doing, right? And what they've done is they've put the title block in some kind of, I don't know, weird, it's either paper or wood or whatever it is. It just looks cheesy, like Pirates of the Caribbean, right? But this thing that we're working with is a little bit undefined, and it is a strange kind of angle thing here. I'm okay with there being an angle, but I feel like there needs to be a reason for it. So what I would actually do with this, if I was working on this, I would want to maybe ground, so I would work with the kerning a little bit if something needs it a bit. We've already talked about the ampersand, talked about this line, this horizontal line. Make sure it looks like the kerning between the L and the Y is a little off. It's a little too much. Otherwise, it's all right. This thing here, this Italian thing, that doesn't bother me. This down here, the Practical Guide to Italian Etiquette, I think that could be more easily seen. And I like what you started to do here, but it's just, you got to stay within the guidelines. And then I probably would want to, I think the biggest thing for me is this title block, like this. What is that? Is that a piece of paper? Is that some kind of signage? Is it parchment? Is it wood? Is it a frame? Is it like, what is that thing? So I would need to spend some time with that. I don't know what the answer is. The other stuff around it does not bother me. There's a couple things that do bother me. But I really have to, yeah. How this sits here, this is totally, I have no idea what's happening here. Is it sitting somewhere? Is it floating? I don't know. It's just kind of really ambiguous. So those are the things that I would want to pay attention to. I'm okay with the flag. I'm okay with the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I'm okay with the olive tree, with the wine, and even the cafe sign. I'm okay with that because to me it anchors. Yeah, let's go back here. To me, it anchors the left side. Yeah. And so a lot of the stuff I wouldn't really want to touch. What I might do, if I had time, I would just test. I would see if maybe some of the white clouds back here. Maybe should this over here, should that be blue instead of white? I don't know. I had to see. And then this over here, this little white spot up here, I don't know, I might make that blue. Or at least try it just to see. There's not a whole lot other than the text block. To me, it's a text block. That's really the primary thing. I would keep the fonts. I would just sharpen it up a little bit so that we know what to look at. Okay, one more thing I need to show you. Okay, so they've got a couple of books in this series. This is the first one. And let's see if I can get this thing out of the way. Sometimes it's hard to deal with this. You click in the wrong place and then it just, all right, here we go. Where am I clicking? There we go. Get rid of that. Move this over here. Okay, it's kind of hard to see because of the back cover, but you can see that the do's and don'ts of Japan, right? So this is part of the branding, this title block. And even here, it looks like look at that horizontal line doesn't quite make it all the way over. So I don't know if that's good or not. It seems to be, this book is selling very well, The Do's and Don'ts of Japan. Yeah, it's working really well. So what we want is to do something that's, gosh, darn it. I can't put my cursor anywhere. Yeah, in any case, I hope that you see the bigger context now and that this guides what you do a little differently. So maybe we should get on the phone again and talk about this. I know the clients are quite eager to move on. And so let me know if you can talk with me later today. Thanks.